Hello, it is Sarah Waggle. Welcome back to my channel. I first just would like to say a very heartfelt thank you very much for all the new subscribers, for all of the views of my Capricorn full moon video. I am blown the hell away. And I really appreciate you who watched it. It just, I'm pleased. I'm very pleased. I'm very honored that you would watch my videos. I work really hard on my keynotes and to look at the charts and all of the things that I do. And it's such a treat to see so many people watching them. So I'm very thankful for you who's watching all of these videos, commenting on the daily tarots. I did fall off the wagon on the moon videos. I'm going to get those back online. But the end of last week into this week was extremely busy with packing for not only the trip I'm currently on, but packing to move out of my mom's house. And so life is a little crazy. I don't know if y'all are feeling it, but I'm feeling it. I know we're all going through a lot right now. And I just said it on my Instagram live. When you feel like you're not getting clarity around something, take inspired, aligned action that makes you feel good. And maybe that means releasing people, places, things, events, environments from your life, and releasing some of the control, right? Like we can't control what other people do. We can't control what other people say, but we can control our reactions, our responses, and we can control who we choose to have in our life. And I know I'm going through that in some ways, and, choosing a different environment, not the one I wanted in the moment, but that's okay. It's at least better, and it's better in service of me and what I want and how I want to live, than where I could be. And so if you I keep thinking that like the astrology is going to provide clarity. And yes, that is to some extent true, that as we move forward, the clarity will come, but we are also in retrograde central right now. We have already 3 planets, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, in retrograde. By the end of this week, meaning the week of July 17th, we'll have Venus and Chiron in retrograde. And then in August, we will have Uranus go retrograde, Mercury go retrograde. And as soon as Venus comes direct, Jupiter goes retrograde. This is not going to end anytime soon. So that's what feels very important to say to you, that yes, the astrology will give you clarity, but you've got to want the clarity. You've got to take the action. Mars is now in Virgo. Take the okay, so there's Gemini Mercury and there's Virgo Mercury. Virgo is the more earthy, tangible stuff that you can touch, action you can take, right? Where Gemini is a little more mental, it's air. So it's a little more intellectual. So we're a Mars in Virgo. And it's also going to oppose Saturn in Pisces. So there's a lot of confusion. There's going to continue to be. And I almost want to say, without looking ahead in this moment, that Mercury goes retrograde in Virgo, just to add to the fun. And that's not until I think later in August. We'll talk about that later, but I just wanted to mention it because if you're counting on a transit or transits to give you clarity or help you, yes, there is illusions and things, but there's also you taking the action or taking the necessary steps that you need to take in order to bring your own clarity, right? You ultimately can bring about your own clarity. Speaking from a person who has no freaking clue where I will be by September, but that's 6 weeks from now. But I will continue to take inspired action and inspired steps towards what I want and what I foresee for my life. I have intentions as to what I want. It's a matter of putting it all together and creating it in my own way. And I'm living an extremely unique life. There are no blind nomads out there that I could find on social media. And so to be a blind nomad who does not drive, I can't, do the van RV life. or even a car life, right? So it's me doing it on public transit. There's nobody else doing that. And so, but that means that I am creating it, revolutionizing it, right? Pluto's will come back into Aquarius. We know we're in this sort of flux with Pluto and Aquarius Capricorn. And so things may feel a little bit, what the fuck, for the next couple of years, to be honest. As Neptune finishes up in Pisces, Saturn moves its way through Pisces. They will conjunct in Aries. I believe it's at 0 degrees Aries, and it's early 2026. I don't know the date offhand. I'm sorry. It'll eventually land in a slide. Y'all know that. But so this is this next couple of years that we have to work with this kind of murky energy, is a really good opportunity for you to take advantage of and creating the clarity for yourself, and creating or trying things for yourself. Maybe it's time to try a hobby that you have never tried before. I think to myself, like, more people should try crochet or try knitting, right? My mom and I are both yarn crafters. And so that's like, when all else fails, we got books and we got yarn, we're good. But my point is that, taking advantage of this time, because things are unclear, but it's also an opportunity to take strides towards something that, I have a hair that's kind of annoying me, and I'm sorry. Take strides towards things that we want and create the things that we want. And if you don't know what that is, take action that feels good. Say yes to things that feel damn good. Say no to things that feel yucky, So anyway, enough of me rambling. Let's get into the keynote and all of the next week. This is July 17th through the 22nd, 23rd. And there is a lot to talk about. So let's get into it. Okay. Okay. So we are shifting energy this week, because as of the 17th, through October 8th. Okay. As of July 17th, we have a new moon in Cancer. Cancer is a cardinal water sign. We hours later have the nodes shifting from North Node Taurus, South Node Scorpio, to North Node Aries, South Node Libra, also cardinal signs. So we're going to talk about these cardinal signs a lot this week, because we also have a couple of cardinal grand crosses occurring that time. So big emphasis on home, family, emotional intelligence, maternal instincts, your immediate environment, those sorts of things, because Aries is first house energy. So whatever you have in your first house, that is who you are, how you show yourself to the world. That sort of thing, your appearance, that sort of thing is first house. Fourth house is ruled by Cancer. Cancer is home life, emotional intelligence, maternal instincts, things like that. Your immediate environment. Seventh house is Libra. Libra is partnerships, relationships, justice, balance, those sorts of things. 10th house is Capricorn, which is work and public achievements and things like that. Now, your houses might show up, depending on your rising, your houses might show up differently. So the Aries first house does not mean that your first house is in Aries. If you are a Scorpio rising, for example, your first house is Scorpio. Your fourth house is then Aquarius. Your seventh house is Taurus. Your 10th house is Leo. And depending on how you organize your chart, that's based on whole sign. When I do these sun sign horoscopes, they are based on whole sign. However, I run individual charts based on Placidus, which is a different measurement of houses. And so that could make a huge difference in how your houses are presented. So just because I say something's happening, if you're Cancer rising and it's happening in your 9th house, does not mean that it's your personal 9th house. It is Cancer rising's 9th house. So I hope that makes sense. So, but all in all, when we're talking about cardinal energy, we're talking about Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. We are talking about basic life things. We are talking about who you are, your home, your immediate surroundings, your mom, you being a mom. And then we're talking about Libra, which is relationships, partnerships, balance, justice, those sorts of things. And Capricorn, which is work, public achievements, recognition, things like that. So I hope that makes some resonating sense. And by the way, when we get to the sun signs, you can indeed skip ahead. I will do the chapters as usual. I love doing that. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, so who you are, what you are, and how you interact with other people and the relationships that you're in. This is back to what I was saying. Maybe it's time to say no to people in your world. No, I'm not going to tolerate that from anyone anymore. And if that means that your friendship or your relative relationship no longer aligns, that's what it means. Okay, transits. Oh my gosh. There's a lot. On the 20th, Mars is going to oppose Saturn exact. That is actually building as we speak. That they are going to oppose. Mars is masculine. It's a malefic. It's war energy. It is now in Virgo, so it's now going to oppose Saturn retrograde in Pisces. So on the 20th, which I believe is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Thursday could be a sticky day because as you're making these decisions for yourself, as the North Node in Aries, as you're making these decisions for yourself, people are going to get pissed and resist, right? And so that's going to create conflict. That's going to create communication issues because people are going to kind of be like, word vomiting or exploding from the mouth or things like that. Virgo is mercurial. Mars is in Virgo. And so, there's communication things that are going to be frustrating. And Saturn, of course, is, it's restriction. So things could get complicated. I know people have been having issues with tech and tech communication. That's very common when you have this type of energy. All right. Sun enters Leo on the 22nd, right? I believe after Venus goes retrograde in Leo. In retrograde, we have Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune, Venus on the 22nd, and Chiron on the 23rd. Chiron is the wounded healer. It is in Aries. It's been there for a hot minute. And so, if you're around your early 50s, you may be experiencing your Chiron return. I know a few people who have been experiencing their Chiron return, and it's been tricky to navigate that. And so, if you're in that group of people, Chiron's going to go retrograde. I don't have the degrees on this. I believe it's at 20 degrees now. Boy, I didn't even look. I just looked to see when it was going to go retrograde. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so that's that. Did I lose all of? Nope, I put it in this slide. So this is a new moon at 24 degrees of Cancer. So look in your natal chart to see what's at your 24 degrees of Cancer. It's moon conjunct the sun. So they'll both be there. And then the moon, of course, is dignified. It's in its home sign. That's why this is a lot to do with home and maternal and emotional intelligence and those sorts of relationships. Things like that could be very emotional. It's also a cardinal sign. And so there are definitely opportunities to initiate or clean up or whatever with regards to your home life. Lots of cardinal energy, of course, because the nodes are shifting into, in fact, if you look on the chart, see, we do have already the nodes. Have they shifted by the new moon? Where's Neptune? Nope, not yet. It's a little bit after, I want to say it's an hour or two after the new moon peaks that the nodes shift into North Node Aries, South Node Libra. And so, and then of course, later on in the day, we're going to talk about it. We're going to have a first of two cardinal grand crosses at 29 degrees of the cardinal signs. This is why knowing this cardinal energy is important. I'll also point out too, because we have Pluto floating back and forth between 0 degrees Aquarius and 29 or the later degrees of Capricorn, we're not only having several cardinal grand crosses, but if you remember earlier this year, we had a fixed grand cross at 0 degrees of the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And so we're having a lot of these massive transits that's initiating a lot of change energy in 2023. And I don't know about you, but 2023 has like rocked my world in so many ways. Like it's been beautiful, but man, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, and then on the 21st, that's when the 29-degree cardinal cross is with the sun. So on the 17th, on Monday, we're going to have in the evening the cardinal grand cross with the moon at 29 Cancer, the nodes at 29 Aries, Libra, respectively, and Pluto at 29 Capricorn. And I almost want to say that that one's not exact, whereas this one is more exact. On the 22nd with the sun at 29 degrees of Cancer. And so there's a lot to think about with regard to that. They're a few days apart. So, you know, that's a lot of initiating energy. 29 degrees of Aries is also where we had that new moon solar eclipse back on April 19th, if I remember correctly. That was at 29 degrees of Aries. And so lots of things happening with that 29th degree of Aries. So that's that. The lunation cycle for this time around, of course, we're having a Cancer new moon. So naturally, since the moon is out, since the cycle is a little disrupted until July of 2024, on the 25th, we will have the first quarter square moon in Scorpio. Now we're going to switch to the fixed signs with the moon, because that's the way it works when the moon is going kind of reverse order. On the August 1, we have the full moon in Aquarius. And then on August 8th, the 8-8, and we have the third quarter square moon in Taurus. And then on the 16th is the new moon in Leo. So remember, like I said, the moon is not going backwards. It's simply out of order. So when we have the new moon, typically we would have the Leo new moon and then the Aquarius full moon. Now we're going in reverse order. We're having the Cancer new moon on the 17th, the Aquarius full moon on the 1st of August. We also do have 2 full moons in the month of August. The second full moon at the end of August will be in Pisces. And so we'll talk about that obviously in another video, but that would be the lunation cycle for this time around. We're going to want to pay attention to when the moon is in cardinal signs, but of course, when the moon's in these fixed signs, it's going to be the actual full moon and the square aspects. So, all right. We're going to go into the sun signs, sun rising signs now. Highly recommend that you crisscross watch or cross watch between your sun sign and your rising sign. You can also watch your moon sign if you choose, and whatnot. So, but obviously feel free to skip ahead and do whatever you need to do. So let's do this. Energy movement before I dive in. Okay, Aries, you're going to have this new moon in your 4th house. You're kind of the easiest sign to figure out the houses. 1st house is you, your Aries rising. 4th house is Cancer. 7th house is Libra. 10th house is Capricorn. And you also have Venus in the 5th house. I'm sticking with this Venus in the 5th house theme. I feel like it's important. You can also remember that Mars is now in your 6th house. In Virgo. And so there may be some trickery going on or even some rigidity going on around your daily routines. But this is finding your heart, finding your fun, finding your playfulness, perhaps doing some inner child healing therapeutic work around your basic life functions, right? The 1st house is you, yourself, how you show up in the world. 4th house is your immediate environment, emotional intelligence. 7th house is your partnerships, your relationships, your balance. 10th house is your work and public achievements and things like that. And so I feel like with Venus in your 5th house and Leo is all about heart, it's joy, it's fun, it's childlike playfulness and all of those things. And I feel like this stretch of time is going to be you initiating fun in all aspects of your life. Maybe you've been taking life way too seriously, and it's time to kind of lighten up and enjoy your achievements, enjoy your home life, enjoy your relationships, enjoy your partnerships, like have some fun and have some fun with yourself. Venus going retrograde, I don't recommend having fun with your hair or you're like drastically changing your appearance, but that doesn't mean that you can't temporarily do something. Typically, if we do a drastic change to our outer appearance, like our hair or something during Venus retrograde, we regret it after the fact. So maybe it's like a temporary hair color or a temporary tattoo, or, just try something that that brings you joy, that lights you up. And so that's going to be you. Of course, this new moon is going to be in your fourth house. So something around your home life is shifting, is initiating, is changing. Maybe you're moving to a new place. Maybe you are rearranging. Maybe you are remodeling. Maybe you're moving a friend in, or a partner in, a lover in, something like that. Could be even children. Maybe you're going to be around children, and something like that. So that's Aries. Taurus, Taurus, Sun and Rising. You have this new moon in your third house of communication, and all kinds of other things. That is a mercurial sign. It's also mindset. It's also written communication. You've got this cardinal cross going on in your 12th house, Aries, third house of Gemini, or Cancer, third house, Cancer, sixth house, Libra, and your ninth house is going to be Capricorn. Venus is hanging out in your fourth house. So a lot of things around your home life, your communication, your spirituality, things that are going to bring you joy in your home life, or maybe mothering, or joy around your mom, with regards to your spirituality, communication. Maybe you're going to start communicating with your mom again. Maybe you're going to start communicating with your children again. Maybe it's been a sticky relationship the last stretch of time, and you're going to reignite that relationship and some communication. Maybe you're going to write them a letter, send them a card or something like that. Yes, I still send greeting cards. So, there's that. I'm not that young, but I also love getting cards in the mail. So I do still send them. So that's why I talk about them. So yes, people do still do that, but writing letters and things like that, something around your spirituality. Maybe you're going to cleanse some karma around your home life, your mom or your maternal figure. And of course, your sixth house is going to be about creating good routines around your home, creating good routines around your emotions, practicing, expressing your emotions, perhaps could be a thing. Ninth house is going to be, of course, broadening your horizons, expansion, long distance travel, perhaps shifting your philosophies. Maybe you are shifting to homeschooling, taking your kids out of public or private schools and homeschooling them. Maybe you're going from homeschooling them to putting them in public school. Maybe you have children that are going to be graduating high school and going to college soon, and you're like, no. I know that's a hard transition for moms. My mom went through it. But something around these areas is what's going to be highlighted for you during this Cancer new moon. So that's Taurus. Gemini, this new moon for you is going to be in your second house of self-worth, money, and self-value. The cardinal grand cross will be in your 11th house of Aries, second house of Cancer, fifth house of Libra, and eighth house of Capricorn. And of course, Venus is in your third house of communication and mindset. And so there could be something coming up for you around the groups of people that you are around. The groups, the communities, maybe the technology, how you're communicating with those groups of people. Maybe you're sick of doing Zoom and you want to go back to being in person. Maybe you're sick of in person and you wish Zoom was still a thing, or virtual things were still a thing. Perhaps you are, I don't know, learning how to text better or utilize a new communication app. Um, Something like that. Of course, your second house is your self-worth. What, I think there is something here about how you communicate and what your worth and value is around the time you spend communicating. Maybe you're going to spend less time communicating with others and more time with yourself. Although with the 11th house, Aries, that probably isn't the case, but hey, you never know. Maybe you've had enough of humans and you want to go join the weird Aquarians. Fifth house is all about your heart-centered playfulness, inner child space. And of course, eighth house is mergings and transformation. So there's something here around communication, your self-worth, perhaps healing your inner child, definitely a transformation occurring. Maybe it's even with the eighth house involvement. It could be working with children. Your eighth house is where your Capricorn is in whole sign charts. And so maybe there is something around working with children and helping children with transformation, maybe child psychology or, young therapy, something like that. Maybe you're going to become a teacher, something like that. Or maybe you're going to write a children's book. Third house, Venus in third house is written communication. So lots of opportunities here for Gemini, but it also could be quite the transformation for you as well. So that's Gemini. Cancer, well, you get a new moon in your first house. How about that? New moon in your first house. The cardinal grand cross is going to be 10th house Aries. First house, of course, Cancer. Fourth house is Libra, and seventh house is Capricorn. Venus hanging out in your second house, and of course that means Mars is in your third house. So could be something around obviously the basic life things, right? Like work and achievements, who you are and how you show up in the world, your home life and your relationships. Venus in your second house is your self-worth. Cancer risings is really looking like you need to, or you would be good to utilize time examining who you are in relationship or partnership with, who you are working with, and how you can improve those relationships so that they honor you and value you. Maybe it's something about getting a raise with the second house Venus, like getting a raise and having a job that having work that more balances your home life and your work life. Something about maybe earning more money or, something like that. But it's all in your presentation. So I think it's a matter of like checking in with how are you showing up at work? Are you, putting on your dress clothes, or are you just wearing like whatever you've got lying around and, not making any effort at, combing your hair, or if you're a girl putting on jewelry and makeup, or maybe you're just, like I said, throwing on whatever you have handy and going to work that way. And so expressing your value, your worth, so that you are seen and can be honored for who you are and how you want to be valued for what you're doing. So that would be Cancer. I take this opportunity to plug in my laptop so I don't lose power. That's not good. Okay, there we go. All right, Leo. Leo, courageous lions. New moon in your 12th house of spirituality, karma, endings, things like that. Illusions are also in there. Cardinal Grand Cross is going to be your Aries is your 9th house. 12th house, of course, is Cancer. 3rd house is Libra. And excuse me, 6th house is Capricorn. And you, of course, have Venus in your 1st house, Mars in your 2nd house. So you've got a lot going on around your personal appearance and how you use that to communicate and how you are showing up in your daily routines. Of course, that being a Capricorn 6th house, it's your daily routines with regards to your work and public achievements. 9th house, Aries, how are you about travel? Are you traveling? Are you broadening your horizons? Things like that. I feel like this new moon for you, Leo, is going to be an opportunity to really look at your whole life and see where you can make improvements, especially with regards to broadening yourself and your routines and your appearance. Maybe it's your communication. It's how you are showing up. Venus in the first house. It's how you are showing up and showing the world who you are. Are you being super sloppy? Is your communication crap? Or are you being very thorough and detail oriented and things like that? Mars in the Virgo is going to be about detail oriented presentation. And therefore, Leo and Venus in your 1st house would also be like, hot girl summer, hot guy summer, right? It's gonna be that. And now with Mars in Virgo, and of course, your 6th house being Capricorn, it's all about your work and your work routines and things like that. There's going to be a little bit of an emphasis on that as we move through this. This new moon in the 12th house is going to be you reflecting on what this is looking like for you and how you're showing up and breaking some cycles, ending some cycles. 12th house is also endings. Are you convincing yourself that you're doing good? Illusions. Are you convincing yourself that you're doing good, looking good, presenting good, and yet you are, in reality, you're not? So places to look there for Leos and Leo risings as we move through these cardinal transits. Virgo rising. Okay. Virgo, you got Saturn in opposition. So I'm sorry. New moon in your 11th house of communities, groups, and technology. Cardinal cross is going to be Aries in your 8th house of mergings and transformation. Cancer in the 11th house of communities and technology. Libra in your 2nd house of values and self-worth and money. And of course, Capricorn in your 5th house of playfulness, heart, child or children. Sorry for the fireworks if you heard that in the background. It was just fireworks. Venus in the 12th house, and of course you have Mars in the 1st house right now, and of course you have Saturn in Pisces opposing you. There's something transformative about how you are using technology, engaging with groups, this feels really deep, and I think it feels very deep to me because there's something about Libra in your 2nd house of, which is where the nodes are going to be, is in your 8th and 2nd house. So you're going to have some transformative things occurring, right? North node in your 8th house of Aries. But this new moon is going to be about your groups, your community, groups you're associating with, how you're using technology to make those associations, and what's bringing you joy. Maybe it's time to end something to move on to something else. maybe it's spirituality. It really does feel like it's spirituality. There's something very spiritual occurring for Virgo risings, something that is having them tune into their inner child, having them tune into childlike playfulness, having them acknowledge the worth and the value that their childhood provided, that can allow them to open up to the groups and communities and technology that's available for you when you clear that energy. If you're holding on to something from childhood, perhaps this is the moment to really dig in, grind in, and let it be. It was what it was. Allow that trauma to be healed and allow that inner child to express herself creatively and allow that inner child to shine in the world. There was something fun about her or him, and the people, the 11th house, the groups and communities, the technology is sort of there for you to be your creative, playful, fun self. Capricorn is your 5th house, so work. It's something related to work, and it's more about you transforming or transmuting or even alchemizing the fear around your inner child and what she loved to do. Did she love to play in the dirt? Did she or he, however this looks for you. I'm using she because I'm a girl. um But maybe there's something like, did she love to play in the dirt? Did she love to play with beads and yarn and have crafty fun? Did she love to make a paint mess? Did she love to color? Did she love to play weird sounds and laugh at them? Which always makes me think of people who still laugh at farts as an adult. Okay, whatever. But there's something about this 12th house Venus placement, first house Mars placement, and this 11th house new moon, that something is available for you. But it's a matter of you kind of letting go of the fear and resistance around it. And Saturn's going to be opposing you until 2026. So there's that. If you have a lot of Virgo placements, that is going to be some tricky energy to work with, because Saturn's going to rein you in, and so it's going to be tricky. But again, it's back to what I said at the beginning of this video. It's always your choice. And yeah, Saturn can make it look difficult, but it's a matter of reflecting and reviewing with Saturn. And believe me, I'm not a huge fan of Saturn in any of my aspects. Okay, so I understand, but there also has to be like some lesson Saturn is wanting you to see while it's moving through your, aspecting your natal chart. So groups, communities, technology, something about that is being transformed, is being transmuted, more fireworks in the background. And there's something about your inner child that is just wanting to be set free in all of this. 11th house is also freedom. It's Uranus ruled. So that's Virgo. Libra risings. Oh boy, you get the South Node in your first house. I have so much love for you for that. New moon in your 10th house of work and public achievement. And then of course the cardinal grand cross, Aries is your 7th house. Cancer is your 10th house. You of course have Libra in your first house, and then Capricorn in your 4th house. Venus is in your 11th house, and Mars is in your 12th house. So let's look at this. So new moon in the 10th house is work, public achievement, that sort of thing. It's also systems and structures and things like that. And you're going to have the South Node come through. It's a lot of transformation, but we really want to focus on that North Node in Aries and that 7th house of relationships, partnerships, balance, and justice. And of course, Venus in your 11th house. You're wanting to be social, but something is holding you back from being social. And I'm guessing it has something to do with a work-related thing, with regards to emotions, maybe some emotional processing. I'm thinking new moon in Cancer in the 10th house, because Cancer is emotional intelligence. So it's something emotional, perhaps a fear. Maybe you have a fear of getting back out in public after 3 years of craziness. Maybe you have a fear because you've been through a transformation or you've had a transition in life, and therefore the fear is, how the fuck do I even do this now? And then, of course, we have 4th house. So home, 4th house is Capricorn. Man, it would be awkward to be a Libra. Your 1st house is relationships and your 4th house is work. I don't have any Libra. I have Pluto and Libra. That's it. So, but I think there's some kind of resistance happening. Venus in the 11th, 12th. And of course, Saturn in your 6th house, which is Saturn is restrictions around your routines and schedules and things like that, and illusions of time. And so maybe it's you're like, is it 10th house? New moon in the 10th house. You know what? Maybe it's time to get your shit together and laser in on a routine, whether that is because there are groups and communities that want you to be a part of it. And Lord knows you want to be a part of it. Venus in the 11th house, you're desiring community. You're desiring to work with other people and be around other people. But boy, you've got some resistance in the way of that. And I think the North Node in Aries in your 7th of partnerships, relationships, and balance is actually going to support you if you tune in and tap into it. But Saturn in your 6th, which is really messing with your routines, your habits, and your schedules, is kind of messing with your head a little bit, because it's Pisces and it's illusions and it's not seeing things clearly type of energy. And so really put some energy into focus, and kind of tune into, if you have any Virgo or if you know any Virgos, tune into that Virgo energy. Virgos tend to get shit done. 6th house tends to get shit done, but you have 6th house Pisces, so there's that. Again, it would be awkward to be a Libra. You have a little sympathy from me. But I have no doubt that you can do this, that you can accomplish this, that you can find some strategies, find some methodologies, some tools that can actually support you in getting your home tasks completed, so that you can get yourself out there and get involved in groups and communities. Something is available for you with the new moon in your 11th house. New moon in your 10th house. I meant Venus in the 11th house. Something is available for you with Venus in the 11th house. You are wanting to be social, but you've got a lot of restriction around it, whether it's your own restriction or just the restriction of maybe of your environment, or something like that, that's keeping you from it. And so I really invite you to, find some methodologies, some tools that can help you or support you in, laser focusing on getting tasks done, so that you have more space in your day-to-day routines to get involved in whatever group or community that you're desiring to get involved in. This could also pertain to technology. Maybe you're wanting to learn some new technology. Maybe you're wanting to hone in on some kind of technology, something like that. And that's going to bring you joy. Maybe you need to find the right technology that works for you. Not all apps, not all technology works for everyone. Just because Apple works for some doesn't mean that it works for all, obviously. But the same role is true with different apps, right? Like I could probably pick out like 5 different weather apps and tell you why I don't like them, but everybody else loves them, right? Same sort of thing. So it's utilize this Mars in Virgo in your 12th house to really release, let go, and end cycles of I just go with like I just go with the flow. I have no concept of time. And hone in, laser in on getting your shit together and getting your shit done so that you actually do have time and space and energy to get involved in communities and groups that are available for you and that will bring you joy, that will make you happy. So that would be your Venus in the 11th. New moon in the 10th is going to be around work-ish type things, public achievement. You want to get out into public again. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you're kind of over it and you don't want to. But my guess is that you do because you're Libra and you're social and you like intellectual stimulation. So there's that. So that's what I think for Libra. I love you, Libras. I feel like I made, anyway, I'm gonna overanalyze myself. Scorpio. Now we can celebrate Scorpio. We got a south node out of our first house. Yay. We made it. Congratulations. Welcome to the other side. That was hard, right? That was a hard 18 months. New moon in the 9th house of expansion and broadening your horizons, philosophies, changing your belief systems, things like that. What the heck did you learn during that new south node Scorpio that now you're just like, all right, screw it. This is what I believe now. This is what I'm going to move forward with, and I'm going to grow and evolve from there. I'm also going to start traveling, something like that. Cardinal Grand Cross is going to be 6th house Aries, 9th house Cancer, 12th house Capricorn, excuse me, what did I say? 12th house Libra, 3rd house Capricorn. There we go. Venus in the 10th house and Virgo, Mars in the 11th house. So there's a lot going on for Scorpios. Scorpio, I'm gonna just guess that you've been through a transformation over the last 18 months to 3 years ish, and say that it is time to bloom and grow and expand and get back, communicate that it's time to hone in, laser in on, you've got the 6th house too. So laser in on your routines, your health habits and things like that. I don't know about any of the rest of you Scorpios risings, but I had a really hard time with a Scorpio South node getting my workouts in. That was the hardest thing, and it really sucked because I just didn't have the mental capacity to do it. So maybe you're feeling the same way. And now we're going to have the North node in Aries. Look out, world. Scorpios are about to get ripped, right? Or you're going to start eating healthier. You're going to change your nutrition, change your diet. Maybe you're going to get in a better routine of whatever it is you're wanting to get into a better routine about. But it's all around expansion. And it's kind of like if you want to go to the next horizon, if you want to level up to this 9th house, next level for you, it's all about your routines. It's all about your work. Obviously, Venus in the 10th house is going to be that. And of course, 12th house is going to be, karmic cycle endings, spirituality, things like that. But it is in Libra, so it's a little easygoing and balanced out. So Scorpios are getting a hell of a break. Well deserved. Congratulations. You made it to the other side. And so maybe it's time to now work on writing, communicate, writing. Maybe you're writing a book. Maybe you're communicating in writing somehow. So lots of different things going on for Scorpio, but I feel like in order to get things done, Scorpio is going to have to capitalize on this 6th house Aries North node in order to hone in things. Mars in the 11th house of groups and communities. There's something for you about wanting to be in groups and communities or create them maybe, but it has a lot to do with that North node Aries. And then all of it leads back to this ninth house new moon and Cancer expansion, whatever way that looks for you. Like I said, philosophies, belief systems, long distance travel, however that looks. Maybe you're just expanding to the next level of your current job, and that you're so excited about it. Venus in the 10th house, public appearance, public achievement, all of that. It's how you present yourself, how you want to be seen or acknowledged in public. So that's Scorpio. Congratulations. I'm proud of us. Sagittarius rising, new moon in your 8th house, transformation, mergings, financial mergings, emotional mergings, things like that. Cardinal Grand Cross is going to be 5th house Aries, 8th house Cancer, 11th house Libra, 2nd house Capricorn, Venus in the 9th, and Mars in the 10th. So you are probably doing a lot with your job right now, Mars in the 10th house, but you're also wanting to merge and do some inner work, and you're finding the maybe not so delicate balance of wanting that personal transformation but also wanting to succeed at work. And there is definitely a juggling process going on here with wanting to be playful and have more fun in life, and also wanting to be successful at work or in your career, even in just your public appearance, public achievements, things like that. Of course, Libra in your 11th house, the balance of wanting to be involved with groups and communities versus career and all of that. It's a very delicate balance, I feel like, for Sagittarius risings. And I do feel like it's about transformation and merging. Perhaps you're getting married and now it's like balancing out your home life with a new family and your career life, as it has been. Maybe you are simply merging business partnerships, or something like that, that's creating creating all of the things that go along with a business merging, the process, all of the steps, and it's keeping you from enjoying the process or enjoying the outcome. But I do feel like Venus in your 9th and the Mars in your 10th, but it is broadening you, and it's a matter of working through the process. 8th house is Scorpio themed, and it really is all about a process. It is a psychological transformative process. There's a lot going on in the 8th house. And so, Sagittarius wanting to be that fiery, playful self that they are, and now they have to go through this new moon in Cancer transformative process. It's like, what the fuck? Do I really have to go through this? I just want to grow. I just want to fly. I just want to zoom around the world. I just want to do this. Nope. You got to go through a transformation. There's got to be some sort of something that you need to process through in order to get to the next level that will bring you that joy and happiness that you desire, and that playtime that you desire, north or the 5th house that's moving to your 5th house. So it's a balancing act. It's a maybe not so delicate balancing act for Sagittarius as we move forward into these nodal shifts. But I feel like Sagittarius, there's some fiery Jupiterian mofos. They got this. They got this. They got this. I have zero doubt. So that's Sagittarius. Capricorn rising. New moon in your 7th house of partnerships, relationships. Capricorn, of course, a cardinal sign itself. So Aries, 4th house, Cancer, 7th house, Libra, 10th house, and your Capricorn is in your 1st house. Venus in your 8th house, Mars in your 9th house, transformation of relationships, but also nodes moving into your 4th and 10th house. Definitely some all over basic life area transformation occurring to find joy in what you are up to in life. Relationships, partnerships, it's kind of like who are you really hanging out with, and are they the right people? If they are the right people, then they're going to support you through the transformation so you can find more joy and happiness in life, and doing the work to get there, the expansion work. Mars and Virgo in the 9th, to get to that next level of, to deepen those partnerships, to deepen those relationships. Of course, this could also be around justice, and balance, as far as maybe some, I don't know, justice being served type of energy going on. But North Node moving into your fourth house of home, maternal, mothering, and emotional intelligence. There's definitely some growth coming your way around creating a home that is indeed supportive of your continued transformation, your continued growth, your continuing journey in this life. And so I feel a lot coming up for Capricorn. I mean, it's basic life areas, but it's kind of the deep end of the basic life areas with a Venus in the eighth house type of energy. But it's about you finding joy and happiness in the transformation, in your home life, in your relationships, in your work life, and all of that. So, and what lights your heart up, Capricorn? What really lights you up? What makes you smile? What just, Capricorns, I don't know. Capricorns are tough because they're Saturn ruled. But I have zero doubt that you will find and that you're sort of discovering what indeed will bring you joy and happiness in the balance between your home life, your relationships and partnerships, and beyond. So that's Capricorn. Aquarius rising. New moon in your sixth house of habits, daily routines, health routines, that kind of thing. Cardinal cross in your third house, Aries, sixth house, Cancer, ninth house of Libra, and 12th house of spirituality and karma and things like that. Venus in your seventh house is relationships, Mars in your eighth house of transformation. There's something changing for you, like it's being kind of shown to you to change something about your health, change something about how you communicate with your relationships, partnerships. Definitely something coming up that's expansive around relationships. Maybe you're going to expand your friend circle. Maybe you're going to find some new friends. Maybe you've lost some friends recently for various reasons and you're about to get some new friends, and it's going to expand you and have you try some new things and broaden your horizons, and that kind of thing. There's also something about communication and mental mindset around your daily routines. Maybe you're gonna, maybe you're not a coffee person, but you're gonna start having morning coffee because your group of friends has morning coffee. So why the hell not, right? But it's finding joy in the relationships. It's finding joy and happiness and heart and playfulness in relationships, but it's also developing the daily routines and health habits so that you can really be a part of and integrate yourself with those new relationships. So that's what I see for Aquarius rising. A lot of it's going to be Aries in your third house. North Node is going to be there. It's all about your mindset. And are you willing to make the changes in maybe your rigidity in order to, have the relationships moving forward? Maybe you need to loosen up a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. But there's something here about you finding joy in relationships and partnerships. But there's also something around like maybe your routine is in the way, or maybe you have the routine and someone else needs to fit into your routine in order to be a part of the partnership that you are in. And that comes to communication and mindset from both angles. So lots of possibility here, but I do see some expansion for Aquarius. I do see some daily routine changing, initiating the process of the mindset shift, the communication shift, and relationships obviously shifting, making some changes as well. That's Aquarius. And Pisces. Pisces new moon in your fifth house of joy, heart, childlike playfulness, fun, potentially drama queen, since you are Pisces, which is a water sign. Cardinal Grand Cross in your second house of Aries, fifth house of Cancer, eighth house of Libra, and 11th house of Capricorn. Venus in your sixth house of routines, habits, and daily routines and schedules. Of course, Mars in your seventh house, Virgo, of relationships. Kind of wish I'd have put that Mars on these slides now. Didn't think about it at the time. So fifth house. Pisces is trying to have more fun, and this is initiating maybe like a more heart-centered space of having fun and being more playful. You're going to have the North Node move into your second house of self-worth, value, money. Maybe it's time to see how valuable your money is, how your money can be used for fun versus just buying the bare necessities or buying only the things you need for your home, for your development. Definitely feels like maybe finding more joy in your health habits. Maybe you're going to start, working out. Maybe you're going to use that money to join a gym, but it's going to be one of those like what the heck are they called? Trampoline gyms, or maybe you're going to try and do a fun class like martial arts or something where you're like rolling around on the mat like a little kid, or acrobats, goodness gracious, words, acrobats or something like that. And maybe you have, maybe you're going to just embrace that play side of you. Maybe you've been going to the gym and you've been lifting and you've been treadmilling and stair climbing, and now it's time to just go roll around and play on a mat. And so I highly recommend like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or judo, or there's always kickboxing and karate and things, but that's just kicking and punching. I'm thinking rolling around, getting yourself rolled around, your hair all a mess, sweating yourself out on the mat, or take like an adult tumbling class or something. That's what I'm feeling for Pisces. It's time to add a little fun to the self-worth aspect of what you're up to. Using your money to, have fun and play. Like I said, do one of those trampoline gyms where you can go and just jump around and bounce around. But I really feel like there's something playful about this. There's something, childlike about this. Of course, you've also got Libra in the eighth house. So, there's transformative energy and potentially new people around you embracing a playful part of yourself that maybe you've been neglecting lately. And of course, your work in your 11th house, Capricorn, you may not like groups of people. That just may be how it is for a Pisces. But I would say focus on, I would say focus more on this fifth house, second house, sixth house, play time thing. Maybe do they have those where you can like put on the white? I think there's like the color run or something like that, where you wear white and like they throw color paint at you throughout the race. Something like that. I'm just thinking of like fun things that are different and maybe like way out of your comfort zone. So if you've never done like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or you've never done judo, or you've never done tumbling, maybe it's time to tap into that inner child and let her or him roll around on the mat and have a little crazy fun. So that's Pisces. And let's see here. Let me get out of. All right. Those are your sun signs for this Cancer new moon. I hope my sound is okay. I hope there wasn't too much interference from the background noise. I do have windows open and I am in a big giant room. And so if I do indeed end up staying in this location, which may or may not be the case for at least the foreseeable future, but basically I may be temporarily moving myself back to Chicago because I kind of need Chicago for my own refresher of getting back out into the real world after living in a small town for a while and forgetting some of my own like blindness skills and things like that. And so if I do stay in this location, I'm gonna, work with them on changing my filming spot. And but those things will come. So always remember that if you want an individualized written astrology report from me, there is a link down below that you can access my calendar and request one of those. There is also the link for my podcast guest appearance for the Hearts Unleashed podcast, where I talk about breaking up with your victimhood. Highly recommend that and whatnot. If you also want me to come and speak to your group, I am available for those things. I can do in person, just depends on where and when it is. I'm also obviously available for virtual speaking as well. There's that. And then there's also the link to the Awakening Spirit Collective that's run by Lisa Almquist, who I've partnered with. You know, you can join that and you can get all the content on there. There's a sound healer, there's a chakra dance person, and then of course me with my astrology and then whatnot. I do need to get with Lisa and like make some you know, discernments about what content I'm going to put there. It'll definitely be some deeper content as far as like the Saturn and Neptune transits and how those are playing out for us for the rest of the 2020s decade. I do want to dive deeper into what I feel about the Saturn, Neptune, and Pisces situation, and also the balance of the masculine and feminine energy, astrologically speaking, and how that's playing out in whatnot. So just remember that the next 2.5 years, I know that seems like a really long time, but just remember we thought that in 2020 and here we are in 2023, and 2023 is like blinking and passing. But between now and 2026, it's a lot of massive scale endings for us personally and for the global collective as a whole. And so as you're moving through this and you're like, I just don't know, you're kind of okay to not know. There's a lot of disrupted energy. However, the more you can be trying, you know, wanting and desiring to access your own clarity, wanting to and desiring to access your own, like how it goes and flow with the script changing every week, the easier it's going to be to make transitions. You know, I mean, to be honest with you, my script keeps changing every week. Something new is happening every week, and I'm like, okay, guess this is happening. Guess this is a thing, and I'm just rolling with it because I have complete faith that everything's working out in my favor. And obviously there's a lot of details and things I don't talk about online, but just know that there are things that are happening behind the scenes that are indeed working out in my favor. And I just keep flowing with it. And some of it's like, okay, scratch my head, I don't know. But others of it, I'm just like, oh, that happened. That's a thing. Okay. All right, cool. So as we continue to move through this, your own mindset, your own ability to reset your emotions, your own ability to be in your own mindset is going to make a difference in how you flow with this energy. There's no way around it. We got to go through it. So I hope that's helpful. I hope the links below are helpful. I appreciate you all so much. So thankful for you all for watching my videos, for commenting and liking and all of things. I really am thankful for you and I appreciate you. And I will talk to you for the next video. Bye for now.